So we can see here a couple of updates to the textual time for CT Assist admin dashboard. So I'm going to talk through the updates from the payroll admin perspective. The first note is that process PTO for date range, an update has made so that it will only process PTO when payroll confirmed is checked. Confirmed in weekly summary or confirmed by employee also has to be checked. So once those have both been confirmed, then PTO can process. We also can validate entries in any sort of time range. And the change here is that now, in addition to validating entry by entry, it's also going to validate by week. So say we selected this date range. The first thing it's going to do is to identify any validation flags in that date range it needs to throw, such as overlapping entries, a clinical entry, not having a start and an end time, that sort of thing. So the idea is that you would work through these validation flags, or the end user, the employee, will work through the validation flags before doing a confirmed in weekly before doing an employee confirmation or a payroll confirmation. So we can see that most of this period is good. The other thing that has now been added is a comparison between the time worked and the guaranteed hours at each particular assignment. So with this table is only going to appear right after you hit validate entries for date range. And it's going to show basically every user week combination where there is an active assignment with a guaranteed hours. So of course, we have a whole lot of missing data of kind of not meeting guaranteed hours because we were using this in a really ad hoc way. But I can show what you can do here. So we have this user, SideNerd test, this assignment, they're missing 40 hours. I'm going to work through them below, but so I'm just going to take the date. So we'll just take the first date, November 2nd, the name of that employee, the location, and the hours type is going to be guaranteed hours gap entry. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put in that 40 hours. This hours type doesn't require any particular start and end times. So once all that data is in there, I'm going to submit. And then you can see up here that we've this list, we marked it handled, and then potentially we would kind of go down the list and do each one before, again, validating the date range. So I'm going to just validate again to show that now that top entry has been handled. The other thing you should note is that sometimes the week in the validation period isn't a complete week. So of course we are not going to want to assume that there's a gap entry needed if we just aren't looking at the whole week. So the recommendation would be if this exclamation point is there, update your date range so you're looking at a full period, or don't worry about these gap updates until the week has been completed. So the next piece I wanted to show you is some additional payroll export systems. The first is adding this payroll confirmed button. So you will be able to filter this view. And the key with this table is only things that are in view are going to be basically acted upon. So here we're saying, okay, let's look at everything that's been confirmed by the employee. Let's look at the pay periods that include this date. And potentially, if these hadn't been payroll confirmed, maybe you know they're good. You just want to payroll confirm all versus checking each box for efficiency. You can just use that button to do this. Anyway, so the next piece that we can now do is generate location reports. So these are going to be CSVs, but they match the format of the PDFs that were shared with me. So you'll select the pay period, and you'll see, of course, some users are on the pay period like beginning 10/7 versus beginning 10/6. That's just, depends on if they're a weekday, Saturday, or Sunday end. So we're going to select the pay period we want to process. We're going to generate the location reports, and you'll see downloaded onto your machine. You're going to see the set of reports. So we can see here that this OTE test facility clinical for this particular week. And we can open that up and take a look. And we can see that the format represented here matches what we have in the PDF. We have the first week up top. We're going to list all of the names of the people with, of course, billable hours. The first week, 3 columns for each day, indicating start and end time, as well as total hours. And then the same information for the second week. For this particular combo, we only have entries in week 1, which is why you don't see anything here below, but you'll see all of the dates in that second week represented here. So of course, each of these is going to be created, ready to send in your invoice. What have we got here? So we've generated our reports, we've confirmed everything. We can go ahead and export to create the payroll export to put into your Google Sheet. That all of the each kind of billable shift is visible here, and we can see this guaranteed hours gap entry is also here. So when you do the pivots for each of the different employees, they'll have all of their types of data available.